Hello and welcome to the Autocar Show. Hatchback segment seems to have all the action happening. We've seen a lot of launches this year. We've seen Figo, we've seen Polo, a lot of shake-up in the segment. And the latest entrant into this segment is going to be the Nissan Micra. So far, the X-Trail and Tiana have managed to sell very few numbers and have attracted the image of a premium brand with little visibility for Nissan. Well, they're all set to shake that with promises of 40 dealerships by the end of 2010, growing to 100 by 2030. And armed with a heavily localized built-in-India small car, this is Nissan's first homegrown attempt in the country. And really, their first big step. Now, much awaited, a lot of people have been talking about this car. We're going to see, is it all set to shake up the competition? We're going to take a test drive and find out. I've already heard diverse comments about the looks, but hey, I find it adorable. Its round, bubbly character with that open-mouthed look like it's going to say something to you at any moment gives it an appeal that makes it quite irresistible, especially to women. It's a cute car, still it's not really feminine in any way. The two headlamps seem to form the dimples, and the sloping roof with the lip for aerodynamics seems to give it a low-to-the-ground look. But it's got reasonable clearance. The rear is sort of reminiscent of the old bubble Fiat with the tail lamps that protrude out. I think this car has a lot of character and it will turn heads. Not only that, it's smart too. Well, if you've got your hands full like me and you're a woman, which means you have the key in your handbag, but it's impossible to find and with one hand it's a bit of a struggle. You don't really need it. Long as it's around, press the request button, open the door, and it's easy. Well, the intelligent key is a help, but this comes only with a top-end variant. The good part about this key is that you don't have to fumble around to get the key into the slot, and the car starts at the push of a button. Now, I had the top-end variant, which comes with what is called a greige interior. A mixture of grey and beige for those who are wondering. The rest of the variants are all black. This color actually makes the car look more upmarket. Nissan have used micro-graining on the dash to give it a texture that's non-reflecting, resulting in a less plasticky look and a richer feel. It's better than the Swift and Ritz, but still not up to the quality of the Polo and the Fabia. The little chrome door handles add a touch of funk to the interior, as does the rotary console for all the buttons. Things like the electrically retractable mirrors are a real bonus as well. So, lots to like on the inside of the Micra, but let's get going. Now, we started the test drive of the Micra at Fisherman's Cove in Chennai, so it was tempting to take the coastal road and head out to Mahabalipuram for a nice long drive, but really where most of you are going to drive this car is in the city. So we decided to do the right thing and take it for a spin within the city of Chennai. Let's find out how the Micra copes with traffic. There's lots of glass and a thin A-pillar gives you good visibility. There's a steering height adjust as well, but no seat height adjust, and for some people, you may feel a bit low. The Micra is powered by a 1.2-litre motor that is clearly tuned for efficiency, and Nissan claim figures up to about 18 km per litre. Realistically, I think 14 or 15 should be derived from the Micra. That's a bonus to help you forget that this really isn't a peppy engine. This 1.2 engine is not really as responsive as, say, the Swift or the Ritz engine. The bottom end really isn't its strength. When you lift off and put your foot down, there isn't immediate response. You will have to work the gears when you're in city traffic or when you want that quick overtaking maneuver. But get past 2,500 RPM, get into the mid-range and the top end. This is where the engine really comes into its own. The engine itself is quite refined, and it's only when you push hard that you hear it. But the gearbox whine is something that you will hear. Now, whatever I've said so far doesn't mean that the Micra feels underpowered. It isn't. The acceleration is just very linear. So if you use the gears well, the Micra does just fine. What it does very well though is maneuver through city traffic like a pro with a light and easy steering. Normally, when you have a nice soft ride, you can expect the handling to be a little off and the back to be a little wallowy. Now this is the good part about the Nissan Micra. Actually giving you a good ride, they haven't compromised on the handling. This car handles extremely well. The steering turns in when you want it to. It's nice and light and easy while you're in the city, but it weighs up nicely when you're at higher speeds. You don't mind flinging this car around a few corners, and even straight line stability at high speed is good. Whilst on the highway, we noticed a couple of things. The MRF tires we were riding on were very noisy, and this made the high-speed drive all too audible. I think a different set of tires will change that because the Micra is pretty well insulated otherwise. Apart from this, another strange sound came through. A wind whistle which feels as if it's due to some of the ridging on the roof, and can be only heard if you're cruising between the speed of about 78 to 81. It's easy to miss, but since I was cruising around there, I heard it consistently. Well, I'd been driving a while, so time to give up the wheel to enjoy a little of the backseat experience. Now I've got Niranjan, who's 6'1" driving me, so this is a pretty good measure of what the backseat space is going to be like. He's in his driving position, I'm 5'4", and there's still lots of leg room. I've got space between my knees and the seat still, which means this is a pretty large backseat. It's going to be tough to beat on space. The Micra is really impressive on space. Though from the outside the roof looks low at the rear, inside there's ample headroom for tall people. Also, the higher center of the roof keeps it above the eye line, making the cabin look really large from the inside. The seats themselves comfortable but lack a little bit of under-thigh support. To add to all the interior space, there's a reasonably sized boot to fit in 4 trolley bags easily. Now that's quite a bit. And it's not only the space that impressed us. Now something that really needs mentioning in this car is the ride quality. It's quite incredible for a car this size. Bumps and potholes don't jar you. Low speed ride is really good. It's got this pliant feel to it, and while it's soft, it's not wallowy, so it doesn't toss you around because it's got too soft at the back. The compromise between ride and handling is not an easy one, and I think the Micra engineers have done a marvelous job to get the combination so right. The Micra seem to be ticking all the right boxes so far. After driving the Micra, here's what I think. I think a lot of women are going to like this Micra because of the way it looks, because the way it drives. It's nice and easy, it's light to park, and I think that they're going to enjoy. Now, besides the women, there's a lot going for this car as well. It's got a lot of plus points. It's a perfect package. It's got fuel efficiency, it's got space, it's got comfort, it's got ride quality, it's got good interiors. Okay, it doesn't have the kind of performance we really expected out of a car, but work the gears and you'll get past that as well. I think all in all, looking at the fuel efficiency and at the price that this car is going to come at, it's going to be a great package. It's going to be a very strong contender in the hatch market.